Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I guess some of you might having difficulty to understand types of ecological niche. Okay, so there are two types of ecological niche. Okay, remember what is niche? Niche is the profession ataupun kita panggil sebagai role of an organism in a habitat. Okay, for example, in the previous slide, niche for trees in the tropical rainforest. So apa tugas, apa tanggungjawab ataupun apa sumbangan pokok dekat hutan hujan tropika. So one of the niche of tree in the tropical rainforest is to absorb sunlight for photosynthesis, to protect the ground, okay, and many others. Okay, so that is niche. So ecological niche divided into two: fundamental niche and realized niche. Okay, fundamental niche is the potential niche that can be occupied by an organism if there is no competition from the other species. Maksudnya apakah kebolehan ataupun potential keupayaan sesuatu organism di dalam sesuatu habitat ataupun role yang dia boleh capai dalam sesuatu habitat in case there is no competition from other species. So that is fundamental niche. So the keyword yang you all kena faham ialah potential. Apa yang mampu dia capai ataupun apa yang mampu dia buat in that particular habitat if let's say there is no competition. Okay. As for realized niche, alright, realized niche is the actual keadaan sebenar, right, niche that is occupied by an organism if we consider those interaction that might happen. Kita consider yang adanya competition, kita consider yang adanya sharing of resources by other species. So itu kita panggil sebagai realized niche. Okay. If you look at the example here, okay, if you look at here, alright, these are two species of organism that occupy this particular habitat, and they might share the same resources. Okay, the first species is Tamalus, usually occupy the high rocks, duduk dekat kawasan yang atas sikit, alright, and species number 2 is Balanus, that is usually occupy the low tide ataupun dekat lower rocks. Okay, so bila air surut, biasanya populasi kata apa, Balanus ni memang suka duduk kawasan yang agak surut, and Tamalus duduk kawasan yang air pasang. So dia duduk di atas rock lah. Okay, so this is the realized niche, right, and of Tamalus, and this is the realized niche of Balanus. Okay, so as you can see from here, Tamalus is usually found higher on the rocks than Balanus. So to determine whether the distribution of Tamalus is resulted from interspecific competition, adakah distribution seperti ini disebabkan oleh berlakunya competition antara dua spesies yang berbeza. So these scientists remove Balanus from the rocks on several sites. So you can see that these scientists remove this Balanus. Dia buang ni Balanus ni, and dia dapat tahu yang, right, you can see that Tamalus now spread to the area that was formerly occupied by Balanus. So what we can see is that Tamalus ni has another type of niche which we call as fundamental niche, which is potential niche that Tamalus can occupy if let's say no competition. Sebab sekarang tak ada competition dah, Balanus dah kena buang. So kawasan yang kosong ni rupanya boleh digunakan ataupun can be occupied to be utilised by Tamalus. So you can see that Tamalus fundamental niche, right, orang kata apa, is actually become wider, right, so due to no competition. So as conclusion, interspecific competition, meaning that competition among two different species, right, make the realized niche of Tamalus become much smaller than its fundamental niche. Maksudnya fundamental niche dia sebenarnya lebih besar. Fundamental tu apa tadi? Fundamental ialah potential, kan? For potential niche that can be occupied if there is no competition. So you can see the fundamental niche is wider compared to the realized niche. Okay, so that is the conclusion for this experiment.